Welcome to Next Act Cruising.
I'm Bob.
I'm Sarah.
Today we're going to share with you one of the highlights of our cruise, a partial transit of the Panama Canal.
This was part of our 15-day Viking Ocean cruise to the Panama Canal in Central America. It was not an excursion per se, it was rather an on-ship experience of a partial transit of the canal.
Let us back up a little and tell you how we prepared for this experience. Viking Cruises is known for its enrichment programs. Prior to our Panama Canal cruise day, we had 3 lectures from an expert civil engineer so we would know what to expect as we transited the canal. The enrichment lectures were very interesting and recounted the history of the development of the canal, the engineering challenges, and the political ramifications.
Before we start showing you footage of our canal experience, let's go over what the plan was for the day. The Panama Canal is located on the Isthmus of Panama. There are locks at each end of the canal with a man-made lake called Lake Gatun in between. We approached the canal from the Caribbean Sea or Atlantic side and waited our turn to enter the canal. We proceeded through the 3 Gatun Locks and then cruised and anchored in Lake Gatun. That might sound pretty casual to you, that we could just cruise around the lake, but it is really much more orchestrated than that. There are specific movement channels in the lake for the ships and places for them to anchor. With all those large ships going through the canal and being in Lake Gatun, the movement of those ships has to be very orchestrated. After that, we returned back through the 3 Gatun Locks and to the Caribbean Sea.
It was an exciting day for everyone concerned. The actual transit was supposed to begin at 6:30 in the morning. We went to a viewing location located in one of the lounges at about 6:15. We thought that was a little early, but when we got there, it was a buzz of activity and excitement was in the air. Our expert civil engineer began to provide commentary starting at 7 a.m. Viking provided each one of us amenities as we entered the lounge, including a mimosa and a continental breakfast to start our day of excitement and canal viewing.
Now we'll show you a montage of our experience. We will provide some information on the history of the canal in the background, and we'll note other items of interest on screen. The Panama Canal is 51 miles long and provides a transportation alternative to going around the southern tip of South America. The canal was begun by the French during the years 1881 to 1889 when they ran out of money and interest. The French effort was led by Ferdinand de Lesseps. He had led the French effort to construct the Suez Canal. From an engineering perspective, the Suez Canal was an easier project because it was through relatively flat desert with ocean levels or water levels being very similar. No locks were required.
The Panama Canal, however, proved to be more difficult. While the length was not great, there were disease and sanitation issues, the mountainous area of the Continental Divide to cross, and different water levels to consider.
The United States, under the presidential leadership of Theodore Roosevelt, took over the construction of the canal in 1904. Several key men made significant contributions to the development of the canal. William Gorgas improved the sanitation, which decreased worker mortality, thereby allowing the retention of a workforce. Engineer John Stevens put the project on the right track, literally, by reworking the French rail system so that it could be used more efficiently in the construction of the canal. Major General George Guttles of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers led the completion of the project. The canal opened in 1914. For many years, there was a canal zone established that was essentially U.S. sovereign territory.
In 1977, a treaty was signed by President Jimmy Carter with Panama, granting the Panamanians free control of the canal so long as Panama signed a treaty guaranteeing the permanent neutrality of the canal. The treaty led to full Panamanian control effective at noon on December 31st, 1999, and the Panama Canal Authority assumed command of the waterway. The Panama Canal remains one of the chief revenue sources for the country of Panama.
The canal, as originally built, was 94 feet wide and 1,050 feet long. There are also restrictions on the height of the ship and draft below waterline. The canal has been enlarged and expanded over the years. It's apparent that ships must be built to the size of the Panama Canal if they intend to transit the canal. When the canal was built, it was anticipated that it would handle 80 million tons per year. The canal now handles more than 340 million tons per year.
There is a toll charge system for using the canal. Our cruise ship paid about $188,000 US for our partial transit.
I had mentioned in an earlier video that my parents had visited the canal 50 years ago. They had about a 4-hour flight layover, hired a taxi outside the airport, and went to see the canal. Boy, you sure couldn't do anything like that today.
It was a very unique experience to transit the canal. You may think it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. However, there were several passengers that shared with us it was either their second, third, or fourth time to actually transit the canal.
We hope you enjoyed the summary of our Panama Canal experience. We would be interested in hearing your comments about the canal, and you can add those comments below. Please give us a like and subscribe. That really helps our channel grow.
We plan on bringing you very interesting videos and documentaries of our travel in the future. So please stay tuned and keep watching. For now, though, it's time to say bye.
Bye.
Bye.